I think about cathedral building. You're like a mason and you are laying bricks. You probably won't be alive to see the completion of it, but your children will. The willingness to wake up and lay those bricks, knowing that they're getting things towards a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful thing.
Even if it's not gonna get you rich quick, that's such a good thing for you, for society, for humans.
Yeah, you're messing with some worship and prayer. Get your favorite journal out for this worship and prayer. Lift me up, Jesus, you're in charge.
Soakquest.
Could you just start out by giving me a brief intro, who you are and what Castle is?
I'm Stephen Cole. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Castle. Castle is Bitcoin on-ramp specifically built for businesses with a very automation-centric approach to doing that. Bitcoin's an integral part of a future society built on tech. Like you nail the sound money.
It's not about the money. Holy sweet mother of pearl!
And it accelerates everything on top of it. So that's a big part of the mission and what I think about day to day.
Was that part of what got you really psyched on Castle? It seems like you started out as an investor and then kind of got hooked.
Castle was originally brought to life by my co-founder, João Almeida. He was previously co-founder and CTO of OpenNode, and they were the first company to try to commercialize Lightning payments. When he was launching the business, I just immediately thought, oh man, like something that makes this stuff seamless and automatic for business owners, but it doesn't come with some of the constraints that you have when you're doing like full-blown native Bitcoin payments. So the concept here was much more of like, let's focus on savings, let's focus on store of value, let's make it really seamless for businesses and merchants to accumulate this stuff. Even in some dynamic ways, that was the whole product initially, was like percentage of revenue into Bitcoin. We've broadened now where I would say that's our flagship feature, but we are much more of a broader Bitcoin on-ramp, and it's just purpose-built for businesses. So we don't serve retail individuals. What? Our focus is like everyday cash flowing businesses, everything from like single owner, brick and mortar, mom and pop shop, all the way up to mid-market corporate with a treasury finance team and CFO.
Who have you been finding that's been psyched to get started with Castle?
There's two big buckets of Castle adopters that we've seen so far. And about half of them are already Bitcoiners. They've maybe got a setup that works for them, and maybe they've even had a Bitcoin treasury for their business for years now. And so they just see us as a way to sort of automate that and get some hours back in the day. The others are just brand new, where we are their entry point to the Bitcoin world. They don't know what a wallet is. They don't know what private keys are. And so we're trying to do our part when it comes to education and around providing them a way to get going that's easy, but also never limiting them in their journey. And so like make it custodial by default, so they don't have to figure out wallets and keys on day one, but over time, let them know the advantages of holding your own keys. Make sure like we support withdrawals. You can withdraw Bitcoin to any wallet anytime you want, and you can do that automatically. And so striking that balance of like meeting them where they're at, integrating with the platforms they already use and know and trust over time, like helping them understand what is real Bitcoin and all that it offers.
Why do you think these people are coming to Bitcoin right now?
Inflation.
This is fine. Things are gonna be okay.
From being in the trenches of this all day, every day, talking to business owners over the last 5 years, it's bubbled up as the number one issue when we explain to them all that they often have no idea about, how Bitcoin has a limited supply. There's volatility. The smaller the business is, the harder they get hit.
You can hit hard like that, but I can hit boom!
As you evolve and you have more resources, you probably have like a finance team, and maybe it's even in-house, and their whole mandate is like, don't let inflation impact the business. Make sure like they're dedicating a bunch of hours in the day to making sure inflation doesn't hurt as much. And maybe they have economies of scale where they can get leverage with vendors and suppliers. And it just doesn't cause them to feel as much of the pain. But man, when you're a small business, like you just bear the brunt of it. They're the ones who get it first, and I think are hungriest for an alternative. A lot of our earliest adopters are single location, family-owned businesses. The ones that we are now having much deeper dialogues with and onboarding are some of the mid-market corporates. It drove home for me how hard inflation hits on the smaller end.
Try to get a matchup with Ngannou.
Why did you get so curious or driven, psyched on doing this specific thing?
A lot of my excitement for Bitcoin over the years has just stemmed from that idea of leveling the playing field for people. The Cantillon effect is real. The closer you are to the money printer, the more that you can benefit yourself and your buddies.
Stop being greedy!
Central banks, the primary dealer banks, all of the corporates that have access to like Wall Street capital markets, they're beneficiaries of the fiat system. That's so unfair and tragic. And a lot of the people who are just working really hard out there across the country to make things that are awesome and that they love and apply a sense of craftsmanship to it, they should be thriving and successful, or they should at least be on an even playing field with everyone else.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Boots. Hey, question. You ever feel like someone's watching you? Shut up. You're not alone. Because you're not alone. You feel what I'm saying? That thing you're watching me on right now is the best tracking device the Matrix has ever made. Every signal is just a guide to your soul. You're not scrolling anymore. You're being steered by the Matrix. Don't want to be a part of it? You gotta go dark. Better yet, you gotta go silent. Drop the phone in the bag, disappear. Get with it, live freely. Boots out.
When I looked at the Bitcoin landscape and solutions that are available, I kind of felt like, man, purpose building something for everyday businesses, there's something that really is important to me in that. There's some confusion in the market and around finance leaders who maybe aren't deep into Bitcoin day to day. They kind of follow things at the headline level. What a lot of them are seeing with these companies like Strategy that are going all in.
Go all in!
You're effectively betting the farm on Bitcoin. And if you're wrong, even about the time frame, then maybe it's fatal for the business. What I love trying to move the needle on a little bit is getting people to realize it is such an extreme end of the spectrum. And that is not how most businesses are going to upgrade to Bitcoin. They're not going to like lever up and do all this crazy financial engineering in order to maximize their Bitcoin holdings. They're just going to put a modest percentage of their cash flows into Bitcoin over time. And that's an excellent strategy for doing this. It is low risk. You don't have any type of like margin call liquidation stress in the picture. That strategy is going to be an important part of the next 10 years. And it doesn't really get enough attention. It kind of gets lost amongst all those other headlines.
I'd love to hear how you talk about allocation with people that are pretty new.
And when it comes to allocation, especially for new people, we really try to emphasize just starting small. It's probably very tempting to let our bullishness run away with us, but we always try to maintain a lot of discipline and rigor.
Stay fucking hard!
When talking to people who are brand new to all of this. This is their life's work in a lot of cases. We want to be sure that Bitcoin is going to be an amplifier of success for the business, and it's never going to put anything at risk.
How do you think about future planning for maybe a portfolio, for spending, for thinking about your life, your business?
When it comes to the practical elements of how to navigate things, people can be in situations where they are making money, whether that is as a W-2 full-time employee somewhere or owning your own business and having that business be profitable and be cash flowing. That position is one of resilience, right? Where like you have resources that are coming your way and you can run some numbers and figure out what you can set aside and carve out and be able to think long-term with, and you will not expect to need to dip into in the short term. And that's the kind of accumulation that I honestly just think is best. Put a percentage of your profits into Bitcoin and resist the temptation to maybe go all in, and especially go all in with leverage, because that just immunizes you against the short-term price action. And then if things do take a turn against you in a way you don't expect, then you're on the other side of that. You are an opportunistic buyer.
It's where your head is at, thinking about small business in this current paradigm, looking towards that optimistic, potentially less globalized future.
The end of globalism, or the de-emphasis on globalism, is important because I think that ultimately means us as a nation in the US being more capable, more resilient, and being able to control more of our own destiny.
Hell yeah, brother!
The quality of products and services is going to go up because we're enabling so many people to do so much with so little. Entrepreneurs and creators are empowered, and it takes a lot less to bring something to life from zero.